Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hospitality Today Live. And we are so excited, as usual, to have you here with us on the show because we always have some great guests, as you know, and always more guests coming up as well. So thank you again for being here on Hospitality Today Live. And while we're here, I want to share with you who our guest is this time. I'm going to be talking with a good friend of mine, a longtime friend here in the hospitality industry. Her name is Cathy Pennington. She is the regional marketing manager for Christie Cookies, and she's based out of Georgia. And what Cathy's going to share with us, with her extensive food and beverage background, she's going to shed some light on us for here in the hospitality industry, how it relates to business and how it's affecting so many of the corporate America businesses as well. And of course, she has some amazing stories to help you feel good, which we all need during this very distressful time. So I don't want you to go very far because you're going to really enjoy her. She is a lot of fun with a lot of wealth of information as well. So again, hang with us here on Hospitality Today Live. Today's episode is brought to you by Versator. Let the site tour come to you, versator.com. Well, everyone, I want you to meet Cathy Pennington. Here she is.
Everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Afternoon for you, morning for me, right?
Oh, good morning. Yes.
Well, we're so excited that you are here because I know you have a wealth of information. You're a brilliant lady that knows all about business, and especially when it comes to the hospitality industry. And your entire career has been centered around the hospitality profession in a variety of capacities. Can you share with our viewers about that?
Sure. Well, right out of college, I'm from Alabama. Right out of college, I went to work for a couple of smaller Sheraton hotels, and I did that in sales and catering for about 2.5 years or so. And then I left Montgomery and kind of got my big break, if you will, going to work with the Hilton Atlanta. Started out as a junior catering manager and worked my way up to assistant director. Loved it, worked many wonderful events, created great relationships, people that I'm still in touch with today from Hilton. And Deborah and I have several friends in common, and did that for a long time, and then met the love of my life, and we transferred out to California and moved out, then joined the Hilton Anaheim as assistant director of catering out there. Loved it, great people. And then moved back here, went to work for an hors d'oeuvre manufacturer out of Chicago, which doesn't exist anymore. So it was hors d'oeuvres and desserts, kind of the front and the back end of the menu. Met with a lot of caterers and chefs and people that had the need to know, about hors d'oeuvres for their menus. And then took a little segue, worked for a meeting planning company for a couple of years. And then now I am with Christie Cookie Company. This is my 8th year. And love it, and just a wonderful 38-year-old company, and it's been great. It's been a fun ride, and I love where I am, and still building on those relationships. So
wow. Well, having that hospitality background really helps even what you're doing today. And I have to tell you, I love Christie cookies. I've tried those before.
Thanks.
And they are so delicious, so delicious.
Thank you.
And yeah, and I can see why you've done so well in the 8 years with them, because with that background, you can't miss. You just can't miss at all. And I know you've been up to speed with what has been going on, around the world here, and how it's probably affected, Christie Cookies and your personal life as well. And yet at the same time, keeping up with what is going on with the hospitality industry. Even today, there was an announcement of vaccine passports probably being a staple in the industry. it was just announced last month that IMAX America, for their event in November, which is going to be in Las Vegas, is probably going to expect some type of proof of vaccine. And even ASAE has a vaccine check, which they're doing as well. How do you feel about that moving forward with events?
Well, very mixed emotions to start with. So on one hand, I understand, every different meeting or venue or what have you, restaurant, doing their part to keep everybody safe. I just feel like the situation is not a one size fits all where every event should be run like this or every company gathering. I don't have a definitive answer. I do feel like it should be up to the individual event organizers to put their mandates in place in plenty of time so that people that are potential attendees can make up their minds in advance, decide whether or not they go, and not have it be, if they're going for CEU credits or something and they can't attend because they're not vaccinated or they don't have the proper documentation, that could be a little bit sticky. But I think that, again, not a one size fits all thing. And I think it's still evolving till we can get through this mess. So,
Right. And as long as we keep moving forward and trying to find an answer to bring people back to events, it's just going to work out for everyone. So,
yes.
And I think that's what everyone is trying to do.
They're
trying to make something comfortable for everyone to be satisfied with. But I have to agree with you. It is up to the individual and up to the individual events on how they want to approach this. But I think overall the industry is doing a great job on trying to, find that answer.
Exactly. And because the industry is made up of so many wonderful people that bring to the table a lot of varying expertise and experiences, I feel like all of that combined together will help, get the industry through it overall. Regardless of what capacity people are in. I think that everybody coming together with a common goal of getting us through the trenches and back to where we were, back to normal, whatever that's going to be, right?
Right, exactly. And I think even though there's been some hard times going on, I think from what you shared with me before, Christie Cookie's success really has, is a good example. In other words, tell us about that.
Well, so we, all we've ever done is bake cookies and brownies. That's been our business for the entire time, and we've stayed true to our values and true to what we do and how we do it. And we tried really hard to adapt to the changing needs, which have been vast. Right at the beginning of all of this, we were all actually at our company meeting, and a tornado came ripping through Nashville. And when it did, we had boots on the ground right away and got everything back together. And then everything shut down. So we were ready, but we've tried really hard to, stick with what we do well, stay in our lane, again, be adaptable. We actually, a couple of things we did that have really helped the business out a lot. We were on Good Morning America twice during the last year and this year, which was great exposure for us nationally and certainly gave us a little more relevancy with what I do and other marketing managers so that we can say, well, here's a little bit more about us, because unfortunately, people hear Christie and Cathy, and sometimes they think, oh, Cathy's Cookie Company. It's Christie Cookie, and I just represent the company. So I think we've done a great job of, again, being flexible and managing expectations for our clients and having a good strategy. And I think that everybody should have a good strategy so that they're not like, oh, wow, I wish I would have pivoted in this direction or that direction. I've talked to some of my caterer friends and other aspects of the business that will say, they've really had to adapt and show flexibility and, work within their clients' budgets, which right now doesn't seem like budgets seem to be an issue. It seems to be more a matter of getting the staffing, having the resources available to them. And again, just, over communicating to their clients, our clients, here's what we've got going on. And, if there's an issue, get it out in the open sooner than later. And I'm hearing people talking about lots of short-term bookings, lots of things happening in the month for the month or in the week for the week. And again, just people, being able to adapt and also being able to say no. If you can't do it and you can't provide what they're looking for and do a great job of it, then you have to regret it, which nobody wants to do. But that's what some people are having to do. And then balancing existing business with trying to maintain, and get new business rather, and also trying to, make sure that you're maintaining your profitability for your company, and having leveraging your relationships. Like, we're always leveraging each other's relationships. With a company that might be national, it's like, hey, I'm successful with them in Atlanta, maybe you could be successful with them in Florida or wherever. So that's kind of what I'm hearing. So
yeah, wow, those are great tips that you just shared with everyone. And yet I'm so impressed with Christie Cookies, adapting and finding other ways to reach their customers or their audience, and using national television.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would want that.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Big deal.
I think we've done it either 3 or 4 times, and it's just been wonderful exposure. And it, kind of gives us little bragging rights and a little more credit.
Sure.
So no, it's been a big deal for us. So
sure.
Yeah.
And so what kind of results have come from something like that? If our viewers are watching right now and they say, hey, this is something that I really want to do with my company, what was the end result from that?
A whole lot of cookies being baked those weeks. It's very structured the way they do it. It's the lines are open for a certain amount of time. You have to offer a certain amount of discount, and when you're full or out of whatever it is you're selling, then that's the end of it. But no, it's been great now. And like I said, for me personally, it's been great to be able to tell people, hey, we were on Good Morning America. And, some of the other things that we've done, again, these days, it's not just about walking in and saying, oh, I have this great hotel, or I have this wonderful linen, or I'm a great speaker, or whatever the case may be. You have to put something behind it. Why would I want to do business with you? What makes you so special? What differentiates you from your competitors? And why should I work with you? And you have to be ready to tell them why. From your perspective, and leverage other clients or other partners' experiences with you. It's like, oh, well, if she does really well with ABC Company, then I'm sure she'd do a great job for us too. So
good point. Very good point. And that's the bottom line, like you said. I totally agree, because a hotel is a hotel is a hotel. You've got to go much deeper than that.
You do.
To find out, a cookie company is a cookie company, What makes your cookie company, what makes your hotel different than anybody else? That's where we're at now in order to stand out. So I totally agree with you. And I know you've got some fans watching the show, and I'm hoping they'll ask some questions and comments. As a matter of fact, I've got one that just came in. Let's see. This is Lisa Raymond. Was it difficult for the company, I'm trying to read this, to do more online marketing
last year
due to the pandemic? Good question.
Well, so apparently there were a lot of people sitting at home ordering cookies on their computer. So whatever we were doing, we did it well, because we had very good online sales, worked out really nicely. And some of our online sales will morph into the division, the division that I'm with. I work directly with companies, corporations that want to send out gifts for their clients or prospects, or if they're sorry, or whatever the case may be. So that has all helped us out by the web orders. They did really well. So yes, I won't say it was easy, because I didn't do it directly, but we did it right, whatever it was we were doing. So that worked out well. I hope that answers.
That makes sense. Absolutely, it does, for sure. So, but then, okay, so on your personal side, in your personal day-to-day, how has COVID impacted you, your family? Anything that you want to share with our viewers, what you've been going through?
Yeah, well, last year from March on, we were not allowed to, or we were not supposed to actually go and visit with clients, in person. So there was a lot more work on the phone, primarily on email, a lot of trying to keep up with our clients through LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, mostly LinkedIn, just, trying to find people and let them know, hey, we're still here, and make sure that they know that we've survived this, and we will continue to survive it, because some companies weren't so lucky. Some, whether fault of theirs or no fault of their own, didn't weather the storm. And I think that it's important for us to get the word out that, we've got a good strategy in place. We've got good leadership that's helping us down the road. And I think that if we all just kind of focus on what we've done that's worked well in the past. And if it's not working, quit doing it and find something to replace it, or find something that's a better method, so that we can all stay afloat and, still be talking about it and have our story to tell when this pandemic is over, and say, here's how we survived. Sorry for the people that didn't, but maybe they came out on the other side of it in a better position or a better place. So.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And as far as you and your family going through this entire ordeal at the same time, were there anything that really personally affected you all? And were there any lessons learned behind that as well?
Well, my husband and I both had the virus middle of January to middle of February. It wasn't a lot of fun, but we did end up on respirators or in the hospital. It was, very unpleasant, but we survived. And, he came out of it a little sooner than I did, but, it was cold, and I just basically binge watched as much Netflix as I could, and which was not a bad thing. But, it's made it harder on us for visiting our parents. I'm a very social person, for not being able to just, pick up the phone and call a few people or send a text and get people together. Some people are a little more, cautious about being out and about than others are. And, we're not big, into airplane flights or anything, or going overseas. So that didn't impact us, but, done a lot of walking, and, got lots of friends that like to go out and walk with us. And, but the part about not being able to just go somewhere, and get a group together has been not wonderful.
Very hard.
We're all on the same boat, and people all are entitled to their opinions about their degree of being cautious about being out in public. I just went to a University of Alabama football game last weekend, and it was packed, and I had a ball. That was, I just needed to be out. But anyway.
Well, nothing stops an Alabama fan from going to a game.
This is true. We had a good time. Everybody, just like you with your Cardinals. So
that's right.
Exactly. So
exactly. Nothing will stop you from that. Nope. So, how does the hospitality industry? How does the industry affect so many of corporate America? I would love your perspective on that, because as you know, we got hit really hard. One at the top, as a matter of fact, CNN was just talking about, restaurants, or, I guess there were like 90,000 restaurants that actually closed during the pandemic. Right. And so it's like, how does that affect corporate America? How does traveling not, what does that do to them? I mean, it's a trickle effect.
It is.
But I think people don't realize that the hospitality industry is as large as it is.
Right.
It really does impact, corporate America. What's your perspective on that?
Well, so, from working in a hotel for so long, working in like 4 different properties actually, but most of my time within Hilton in Atlanta and Anaheim, hotels have hotels, resorts, whatever, they have, you've got housekeeping departments. So if they're not operating, you don't need the linen companies are going to suffer because they don't need towels and all that. Right. And the companies that supply the chemicals and all, they don't need that. And then you have like the food aspect of it. So then you've got the big distributors, like, well, where are we going to sell our food if they don't have people in the rooms, or in the banquet rooms or meeting rooms or wherever, they don't need to eat. So that industry suffers. And then, it is very much of a trickle down. And then the meeting planners, if they don't have any meetings to plan, their business is suffering, but we have a food service division, and, last year was not great for us. It's coming back. I spoke with our food service director actually this morning, and he said he sees it picking up. He sees the social aspect of the business picking up, and the travel and all picking up better than the corporate side of the business. And I had several of my friends tell me that. A mid-sized caterer here in town, spoke with her this morning, and she said, we can answer the phone all day long with social get-togethers, mostly smaller, and weddings and mitzvahs and stuff. But, the corporate calls are coming in slower because they have more guidelines they have to adhere to, and more, people saying, oh, you can't do that meeting yet. You've got to wait till January, or you have to cancel it. And the caterer that I spoke with said, she goes, we have to pick and choose what we book because we've got to get the goods aren't the issue. She said it's getting labor to actually, handle that. She said she drives around and she always has an apron and an extra pair of shoes in her car just in case she needs to go to an event, which is smart. You know, you
That
got
is
to,
smart.
again, being adaptable and flexible. And, you know, and like she said too, and everybody I spoke with, and I do this too, is leveraging your relationships, you know, keeping in touch with people, not just calling somebody in October, hey, you know, time to think about cookies, or calling them in January. I know your meeting's coming up in May. You know, having touch points throughout the year and relevant things, not always trying to sell something, but just how's it going? You know, oh, I heard you got this huge promotion. Good for you. Here's some cookies. So just all depending.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail there. Relationships is everything.
It really is.
We're going to find out, you know, who really is your friend or who really is your true customer
Exactly.
coming out of this pandemic, because I think it really tells people something about you if you're staying in touch or not,
Exactly.
or reaching out or figuring out how to help each other during this difficult time. And so it's been a different type of experience level for our relationships than ever before. But I really believe we're going to come out of this much stronger than ever before. I think it's going to be event, as I call it, meeting and event revenge.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, I think we're going to just, you know, the floodgates are going to open and we're going to have more meetings and events than we can even think of.
And, you know, one thing I wanted to point out too is that one of my favorite terms is, I love the term trusted advisor, right? And I feel like those of us, you know, that have stayed true to what we do, have kept in touch with our clients, have managed their expectations of our capabilities. And sometimes you do have to say no, right? That we find ourselves on that side of being an advisor to them, and not just somebody trying to sell them a good or service, but we're here to help them with solutions and help them with their job so that they can take it off their plate, put it on ours, and we'll handle it for them or help guide them through the process. So
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. So what is your thought process, you know, if we're looking to the future, you know, really out there, once we get up and going again, and those floodgates happen, what is your idea of what future events is going to look like?
Well, I'm hoping that the future of events for us, altogether, nationally, internationally, however you want to look at it, is that we can close the door and never hear the word coronavirus again, and that we can go about our way. And maybe what we've learned from it is that, you know, people can work from home and can work outside their comfort zones. I've worked from home for over 25 years, so it was no big deal for me to say, okay, I'm going to be holed up in my office for a while. But I think that, you know, it's showing people that you know more than you think you do, and that your capabilities are broader than you thought they were, because you've been tested. We've all been through whatever it is we've been through. We've all been, you know, taken outside of our comfort zone, and we've all been in a situation where thinking on our feet a little bit more and trying to be a little more, I love the word strategy, you know, adapting our strategy to the changing times and doing what we can to, you know, being optimistic with our clients, but being realistic too. And, you know, smiles on our faces and saying, you know, we'll get through this together, and how can we help? And, you know, what can I do to improve everything that I've done for you? Are some of the things. But for events, I think it's going to come back with a vengeance next year, is what I'm hoping. And I'm knocking wood as I say that people are going to be like, you know, we've got all this money saved up that we didn't spend on our meetings, and we're going to blow it out. We're going to do great things for our employees and our clients, and, you know, and just show the world we're back and we can do it better than we ever did it before. That's
right. I totally agree with you. I think right now the number one issue is budgeting.
Yep.
Really tough to make up for lost time, what we've been going through. I know the airlines are going through a tough time and will continue next year. But I'm hoping, at least, like you said, you know, corporate America will look at, you know, products and services like yours, to where they'll say, you know, we need to at least move forward and reward, you know, our customers, our employees, and on down the line type of thing. So I totally agree with you. You know, last week or a couple weeks ago, we had at our very first International Hospitality Women's Day.
I heard about it.
It was a huge success, and we're going to definitely do it again for next year. But we noticed that there was a trend among all the different countries all the women that represented the hospitality industry in countries like China, Australia, India, Canada, US. And it seemed like there was a common theme about mentorship. And someone like you, who has been in the industry for some time now, and all, in a variety of different areas, I would imagine you've had a mentor, or you even have a mentor even today. Can you share with that who that is, what they've been doing for you? How's it been working out?
Well, everybody's a mentor to me in some capacity, right? Everybody, I like to say, you pick up a little bit from everybody along the way, and then it all comes together, and hopefully a nice conglomeration of things that help you with, your day-to-day, whether it's personal or professional. Off the top of my head, one person doesn't come to mind, but there have been so many people along the way. I've got 2 wonderful mentors right now with Christie Cookies that are just at my beck and call if I ever need anything. They've been with the company a long time. They're always super helpful, stop what they're doing, share their experience, never say, oh, you have to do it this way. They say, this is what we've done in the past that's worked. You might want, maybe it's a combined effort of, taking a little bit from this experience and a little bit from that and bringing them together and saying, okay, well, that's how it's, worked out for me in the past. And with Hilton, I had, several mentors of people that helped me out, and I'm still in touch with a lot of them. Going back to the relationships and keeping up with people, and just staying on everybody's radar through sickness, through losing a family member, marriage, grandchild, whatever it might be. So, but everybody's a mentor. How's that?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of nice to pick and choose, different categories, different situations that we're always in. So that's a good thing. Well, we also have another question here.
Okay.
What's the one tip for staying flexible in your business you can pass on? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a meaty question. One tip for staying flexible.
I like that.
I've got, within our business, we have to have a wide scope of market segments. You can't just call on law firms or whatever. You have to have a wide scope of people that you work with, and just taking little bits from everybody along the way and saying, well, maybe I could morph this situation into helping somebody. I'm working with somebody right now that's got a tough situation that he needs me to help him with, and I may or may not be able to, but so for flexibility with that, one tip for staying flexible.
Well, there's
listening to what people are saying and letting them guide you and say, well, here's where we're testing your flexibility, and going to other people that I work with, or people that I might have worked with in a previous life, and saying, how would you handle this, and what do you think would work out best? So
sure.
I don't know if that's a great answer, but
and I think today we're going to have to be flexible.
We do.
In a lot of things.
Adaptable.
What worked yesterday isn't probably going to work today.
Exactly.
So flexibility has to play a part in anything and everything that we do. And I loved your idea of listening. We're such bad listeners.
We are.
Majority of us, that we really need to start listening more, and just listen to what people have to say. And then even if you have to get back with them later, it's okay. Right. It's just a matter of just letting them know that you're listening to them. That's where you're going to gather all your information, instead of butting in on the conversation. So that's a great point, because it's a need, and we need to work on that more. Yeah. But flexibility is the name of the game these days. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And adapting.
Well, I think that this half hour has gone very, very fast, but I know you have a special treat for those that are watching right now. Can you tell us about that?
So I think my email address is going across the bottom. So whoever is the first person to send me a quick email and say you watched this, I'll send you some cookies. So anyway,
well, that's a good deal. That's a great idea. And let me tell you, those that are watching, I'm telling you, these cookies are so good.
Thank you.
They're just so delicious. It's in every customer that I've sent them to, ordering from you has just been like, I want more.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
We're going to definitely order more. There's no doubt about
that.
So
Deborah.
Yes, I think, is there any other way that people can contact you other than email and website? Are you social media wise, or?
They can, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram, but LinkedIn or sending an email will probably be the easiest thing. And follow us on Christie Cookies.
There you go.
Follow our Instagram page, and we'll have offers from time to time. So we'd love to hear from you.
Well, especially with the holidays coming up,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's a good time to order some. And I
It
really
sure is.
believe that people are going to get out and see their family this year, since last year was a
Absolutely.
little tough. So what better
Exactly.
way than trying to try something new and different like Christie Cookies? So
Exactly.
totally agree. Totally agree. Well, this has been such a delight.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Deborah.
so much for being here with us, and wishing you the best throughout the year and to the upcoming year. And we will be in touch. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, everybody.
You bet. Well, there you go. Were you not intrigued with Cathy Pennington and what she had to share? She is a brilliant, wonderful lady that really knows her business and what she can do to help you as well. So thank you so much for being with us to hear what she has to say. Now, here's the thing. If you enjoyed this episode, you can actually see the replay on all our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and or share it with someone that hasn't had a chance to see it as well. I think they're going to be very pleased to what Cathy had to share today. And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Versator, as well, sponsoring this episode. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that you would like to know or learn about, by all means, contact us at hello@hospitalitytodaylive.com. And also, the year 2022 is right near us, and we're going to shake some things up with this show. And we would love your feedback of what you would like to see or hear from as well. And now we're going to talk about next week's show as well. So who's up? Well, I'm going to introduce to you a 30-year veteran in the hospitality industry. He's the creative director and CEO of Vermilion Events, and we're talking about David Twigger. He is going to actually share with us how the industry is going to bounce back. Apparently, he has the answer for that. But in the meantime, he wants to share how and what you need to do to survive until then. And of course, something new to the table here for our show. What lemonade did David make or see during COVID? I want to know. Don't you? Yes, absolutely. So don't forget, we'll be here next Tuesday, same time as well. And thank you again for being such a big fan of our show, Hospitality Today Live. See you next time.